My name is Adam House. I served in the 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat Team, 15-month deployment to Afghanistan in 2007, 2008. Times there's mounted patrols, other times it's a lot of guard duty. It was a hotly contested zone. There was artillery rounds going out all hours of the day and night. I think one of the things that was really tough for me, and more so after my experience overseas, when I got back and realized that I had a bit of a problem readjusting back to civilian life. I was diagnosed with chronic severe post-traumatic stress disorder. When I came home, I was on 13 different pharmaceuticals at one time. I don't have to be a doctor to know that it's probably not healthy for me to put 13 pharmaceuticals in my body every day. We definitely need some reform in cannabis laws, because even if the VA wanted to, they technically, under the federal guidelines, they can't prescribe cannabis. And there's plenty of situations and examples out there where veterans at least claim that they're getting some benefit from using cannabis for PTSD and other symptoms. I think there's enough evidence at this point to prove that it can very much be an intrinsic part and a really important part of somebody's recovery from PTSD. It's ironic when you come back from the fight overseas and come home and you're in a position where you're kind of vulnerable and dealing with some serious health issues anyway. And the last thing that somebody with serious health issues needs is to be trying to fight just for access to medication and to the health care that one feels is best for themselves.
I got into infantry and I really loved it. I was in battle. Probably the hottest situation was the capturing of Noriega in Panama. The Marines went in, we were fire support, and it was just brutal. 9 men lost that day. It's something that you don't want to witness. It's horrible. That is part of my post-traumatic stress. When I was 7, I had a very traumatic incident happen to me. My mom and my dad had been separated, partially because my father had a bad pill and alcohol problem. So we got together to kind of discuss the divorce, and also me and my sister have birthdays that are close, so we figured we'd celebrate me and my sister's birthday, and my parents would talk about the divorce, so we got together in this restaurant. When my dad got off duty, popped a bunch of pills, met us at the restaurant, an argument ensued. He stood up, no hesitation, pulled out his service revolver, stuck it right on her forehead, and that was the last anybody was to see of her head. Her head ended up all over me and my sister. The body just basically collapsed on me, and I just went empty. My post-traumatic stress is horrible. I've had a horrible life. And I totally went depressive. I totally went in a shell. I totally wanted to not be a living entity on this earth. I got consumed that much. The saving factor was that I found pot. It saved me, saved my life. My nightmares were gone. I had no recollection of any vivid details of a lot of the horrible trauma I've suffered in my life.
The best way to relate mindfulness to those that are in the Canadian Forces awaiting release or transitioning is that it's your situational awareness. When you're in theater, you better have situational awareness. Hence why they come back, or we come back with hypervigilance. Mindfulness is being aware of your surroundings. There's no prescription drug that I've taken, that I'm sure Chris has taken, that has helped us be mindful. Like Andrew said, it turns us into zombies. Causes erectile dysfunction, makes you gain weight, can't get off the couch, can't have sex with your spouse. What kind of life is that? They wonder why the divorce rate's so high. So a client, Andrew, came into Marijuana for Trauma a few months back with shaking so bad he couldn't hold a cup of coffee. I arranged for Andrew to try cannabis. I could not use CBD and get relief. Andrew, however, vaporized 1 gram of cannabidiol, and in 3 minutes went from violently shaking to completely stopped and able to have a complete conversation. And he uses a different cannabinoid and he doesn't get high. Soldiers aren't out there just getting high. We're feeling normal. What time are we at, Corey?
We're at 3 minutes and 22 seconds.
3 minutes, 22 seconds after using 3 vapor bags from the Volcano and approximately 1.5 grams. Andrew's shaking has stopped almost completely. It's only ignorance amongst healthcare professionals to deny somebody access to such medication. As I said before, there is no cure for PTSD. So yes, it's a Band-Aid. It's the best Band-Aid to control our symptoms. You still need treatment for your injury. You need neurofeedback, you need psychotherapy, you need family support, you need peer support. Then you need to come to a retreat, or you need to learn how to connect with nature and love yourself again and love people around you. So is it a Band-Aid? Yes, it's a Band-Aid. I didn't need this medication before I joined the military and for 7 years, but I need it now. And when I don't, I'll give it back. I'll stop taking it. And we all agree on that. Please contact info@mftgroup.ca and our team will help you. You will find relief if you have PTSD and you're suffering right now. That this isn't just medication. We want you to be part of our family. All right, be part of a trusted group again that really has your best interest at heart. Cannabis just happens to be one part of what we do.
So I like to say PTS, post-traumatic stress, because to me it's not a disorder. To me it's just who I am now. The weed was the catalyst that got me to where I am now. It was after my time in Iraq that I started to feel the weight of what was going on. It was about 6 months after I got back. I stopped taking care of myself. I was having really bad anxiety. It got really bad. I was super hyper vigilant. If I went to a restaurant, I'd have to sit facing the door so I knew what was coming in, what was going out. Personality disorder not otherwise specified. I found out later was what they were diagnosing people with who were later diagnosed with PTSD. The first line of defense for PTSD with the VA is pills. Over a period of 5 years, they put me on 40 different types of medication. You know, I was on all kinds of antidepressants, all kinds of anti-anxiety drugs. I was on pain meds. The pills didn't work for me. So that day I called up my friend, asked her to get me some weed, and we sat in my living room and smoked a joint. And I laughed and I smiled and I felt good. That was the turning point in my life. I mean, I think the most important thing about PTSD, especially with vets, because we have this like masculinity complex, right? Swallow your pride and talk to somebody, because that's the first step in getting better. And I'm living proof of that. You know, I can't say that I'm healed at all, because I still have some times where I have a hard time, but I'm better. And getting into therapy and talking about my problems and just really connecting with other human beings, it's invaluable.